All right, and welcome back, everyone, to week 7 here. Looks like we're going to start off the week with the Broncos and the Browns. Browns pulling a nice little victory over there. Panthers and Giants. Panthers doing a good little job against the Giants. I actually just finished up recording the end of week 1 for the real NFL season, hoping that this is actually the scoreboard for next week, although I want the Panthers to win by more than 10. Jets and Patriots, a good rivalry game going on there. Chiefs and Titans, look like the Chiefs barely eked out a win. The sure shots, dropping a sure shot over the Washington football team, laying the waste and the hammer going on there, looking pretty good. The Sons of Saban almost getting upset by my actual Falcons. And as you can see here, it was not a forced win. I did not actually play this game. Again, I only chose the Atlanta Falcons just because I thought it would be cool to play as the Falcons in a completely simulated league where I do not play any games to continue to keep things fair. So the Miami Dolphins, aka our Sons of Saban, almost lost that winning streak, going down 21-20 against the Falcons. The Mac and Sheets winning pretty handily over the Bengals. And then kind of coming down here, the fighting, oh my God, the fighting Penguins just dominated the Houston Texans out there. The 10 Wolverines, I'd call that an eke out win against the Bears. Not a whole heck of a lot going on. My girlfriend here dropping the hammer on the Indianapolis Colts, our Spudnados versus the Jackson Drive for Cody Springer, winning 21-17. Not a heck of a lot there going on. Sorry, I was about to sneeze. And then we also have Desert Swarm swarming the Seattle Seahawks out there. Let's go ahead and dive in, shall we? Little blown away by this. Looks like, wow. All right, wow. Spudnado handling the offensive yards gained as well as offensive rushing yards and passing yards, pretty much doubling all the way up and through up until, doubling the yards gained, rushing yards, offensive passing yards, first downs, punt return, and I don't give a shit about that. Those are some pretty decent kick return yardages out there, but 536 to 293. 2 turnovers against the Jackson Drives is 1, so not bad. Jackson Drive winning the 3rd down conversions, although Spudnado eking out a victory on the 4th down conversions. Nobody went for 2. Jackson Drive 100% though in the red zone, so all 3 touchdowns that they scored were off of red zone drives, which is great to hear. Looks like Spudnado sputtered out a little bit in the red zone, 60% out there. 3 touchdowns to their 2. Looks like one of the touchdowns came from a big drive for the Jackson Drive. Penalty yards 45 to 63, not so bad, but 40 basically, call it 40, 42-21, not bad, not bad. Go ahead and let's drive it into Josh Allen, the Spudnados here, 74.5 passer rating, 274 for 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 26-yard touchdown pass, no sacks, 21 for 33 at 63% at an average of 8.3 yards. Derrick Henry putting in some massive work. Doesn't sound like he was doing that this week 1 of the actual NFL. 24 for 122 at 5.1 average yards. That's pretty fucking phenomenal. Josh Allen going for a couple of scrambles, so I'm going to assume there was a couple hustles out there. What is the BK? 2 broken tackles. The big man dropping some stuff, getting 2 yards after contact. That's pretty awesome sauce. And then, look at that. Russell Wilson came in the game for just a brief moment there. 2 for 12 at 6, as well as Aaron Jones, 5 for 12 yards. Leonard Fournette going with the run. Chris Godwin, they are spreading the love. And Kyle Juszczyk, what are you doing out there, sweetheart? Dropping some love on a lot of rushing. A lot of rushing. Did Russell Wilson even come in as a passer? No, he didn't have any passes, so he must have just come in for a couple of them. Is Josh Allen hurt? What in the hell is going on there? But let's go ahead and head on out to our receiving yards. Dallas Goedert, 7 for almost 100 at 14 yards a gain right there. Yards after reception, 28, looking pretty goddamn good. Robbie Anderson, 4 for 70, let's call it, at 17 yards. Chris Godwin putting in some good work, as well as Antonio Brown. Aaron Jones, wow, 1 for 23. Charlie Warner, 1 for 14. And Juszczyk for a little shovel pass there. So, yeah, looking pretty damn good. Looking pretty goddamn good. Heading back on over to the Jackson Drive where Jalen Hurts was 73%, 73 passer rating, 160 yards for 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 25 long. No sacks, 19 for 31 at 61% completion rating at a 5.4 yards per attempt. Going into the rushing, Saquon Barkley. This is actually the second time recording it, so I'm just going to say Saquon Barkley actually put the team on his back and basically drove him to a loss here. Jalen Hurts, 13 for 34 at 2.6 yards per average. Not doing so good out there. 7 broken tackles, though, which is pretty impressive. Jalen Hurts went 2 for 11 on some scrambles, and then James Robinson looks like he took a couple of bits of yards out there going it. With the receiving core, Saquon Barkley doing 10 for 82 at 8.2. Devontae Adams 2 for 30 at 15 per average. Deebo Samuel only 4 catches for 28, and Jalen Waddle for 3 for 28. This is exactly what Saquon Barkley did for the Giants in the actual week 1 of the series out there. So as far as everything else is looking, the season looks pretty good. A couple of teams had buys this week. Pretty interested to see. So why don't we jump into the stats or the standings for the co-hosts and the listeners and see what everybody's rankings is at now that we're headed on into week 7. Or I should say week 8. There we go. I'm not stupid. And welcome to the rankings side of everything, where our sure shots in the Listeners League improved to 4-3. Your Sons of Saban improved to 7-0. The Brady Gagas are at 3-3 with a bye week. Your 10 Wolverines are at 4-3. And Spudnados actually improves to 4-2 after a good win over the Jackson Drive. Your Danger Chickens, they were on a bye this week, so they sit at 6-0, getting some rest. The Kraft Mac and Cheats are improving to 6-1, while your Jackson Drive fall to 4-3. The Desert Swarm pick up that win at 4-2, and the Fighting Penguins hit 6-1. Coming up next week, we got Week 8, which I know is sure to make some waves. I honestly have no idea. I've recorded this all out of whack and out of order, so we'll see here in just a minute when I do all the editing. See you guys next week for Week 8.